The 2023 general election was an important moment in the history of the Labour Party, mounting as they did the strongest opposition challenge, arguably since 2015, but falling short of their rivals, the PDP and the APC, according to INEC's official results. But amid that agony of defeat and the disappointment over the process, they can at least point to the National Assembly as a place where they managed to secure a measure of success, clinching 6 Senate and 34 House of Representatives seats, showing clearly how the Peter Obi factor, along with the loyalty of the obedient movement, helped to broaden the party's appeal. And now they've called a summit to celebrate the election of their star lawmakers and to reacquaint them with the agenda of the party. So is it just that, or could it be, as some have suggested, an attempt to ward off the possibility of the kind of defections that we tend to see in Nigerian politics as the Labour Party becomes mired ever deeper in internecine, ruinous warfare? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the spokesperson for the Labour Party's Presidential Campaign Council, Dr. Yunusa Tanko. Great to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
So is this summit one of the ways that you're attempting to rebalance the Labour Party in the face of all this very destructive, fratricidal warfare going on inside the party?
Okay, I like the word you used. You said star lawmakers. And that resonates with a lot of interest. Like I used to say, for more than 30 years, we've been trying to get to a level this much. In fact, we are really expecting to have really gotten more than what we did and to make the impactful change that we wanted. And so it's an opportunity for us to chant a new course and setting up an agenda. That's what the Labour Party wants to do. And don't forget also, you remember that the trustee of the Labour Party are the Trade Union Congress, the Nigerian Labour Congress, and who have come strong in this particular position and say enough for us going to beg cap in hand for leadership role that we can install. And that is why when you saw on May Day 29, you saw both the leaders of the Labour movement actually sandwich our presidential candidate, who has also worked very closely with the Labour Congress to ensure that the Nigerian worker gets the best discussions and the best leadership that it deserves.
So that's the thrust of your summit?
Yes, of course. Right. Of course, the major thrust of the summit is that we're trying to set up an agenda that will champion the cause of the Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You can also remember that our principal, Peter Gregory Obi, actually had that particular Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the 7-point agenda tag, it is possible. That is why this particular summit, it is also tagged, it is possible, but the Nigerian people first. And this particular summit actually is being championed and supported very strongly by our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Now, that of course makes a lot of meaning to us, because majority of Nigerian youth, especially now, have been moving out of the country, this Japa syndrome. Everybody going out, most of our doctors, best technicians, best technocrats, all of them are outside. But for them to have shown so much love to the Labour Party, it signifies that they are interested in what happened back home. And they want to change the narrative from our docility to a productive nation. And that means that that particular word from Peter Obi, changing from consumption to production, actually has resonated with them. So they are contributing seriously, mobilizing seriously, supporting every inch of the movement of the Labour Party to ensure that that particular agenda comes true, and making sure that the Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria becomes justiciable.
Yeah, but
in part.
The question is, which Labour Party are we talking about?
The only one and Labour Party that we have.
The reason I say that is that obviously the country is watching you. A lot of the obedience who gave you the fillip, the lift, the Labour Party, the lift that brought it to where it was, they're all watching you. Yeah. And I mean, we've had a number of people in the APC, the PDP, making off-the-cuff remarks, suggesting that the more it looks like the Labour Party is having enormous difficulty putting its house in order, the more likely it is that the lawmakers elected under the Labour Party will defect. What's your reaction to that?
That is the reason why we are championing a new cause and setting up the new agenda that I'm talking and holding our members together as one
No,
block.
but you can't hold yourself together. Your party is divided. I mean, how are you going to hold your members together?
Very good question.
Yeah.
Very good question. When you talk about holding ourselves together, we are more tighter than the way we are.
You
before.
mean your faction is
not
tighter?
faction. The Labour Party itself. Let me explain.
Right.
It's not a tea party. Nobody thought that probably the Labour Party would get to this particular level. And you think those who have already manipulated this, our collective interest, will stand abeyance and watch us, how we rescue the country? They have already enjoyed in terms of corruption and way of institutionalizing them in social malfeasance that affects negatively the interests of the people. And so they find it difficult to make a change from the old order to a new order. So they will do everything within the box to ensure that they cause a lot of havoc within the party. But now here is the catch. We have refused to be intimidated. Ab initio. We have refused to be divided. We've pulled on course what we intend to do, to a point that the voice of our principal have now been mimicked in such a way that you would think that somebody is speaking like Peter Obi. Right. And I give you an example of what happened. Just a few days ago or 4 days ago, we were at the court. A gentleman approached us at the court, and he said that His Excellency Peter Obi actually called him to tell him that I'm on my way to your workshop. I've said this thing before. We are on my way to your workshop. But then all of a sudden, that Peter Obi started speaking Igbo language to him. And then the next thing he said was that, I'm sorry, I'm not Igbo. Then he said Peter Obi hung up on him. So he came to court to challenge our principal that, so you are a religious and tribal bigot. And interestingly, we draw the attention of His Excellency. He said, please tell that gentleman to wait for me. I'm coming out of the court. Immediately I come out of the court, I will listen to him. He now according, gentleman, do I know you? He said, no, of course. Do I have your number? He said, no. And do you know who this gentleman is? The son of the former governor of Kogi State, Abubakar Audu. So he's not just a bystander. He's a respected person within the society. And he represents the interests of the Nigerian youth in a way. So the drama continued.
Right.
And again, he confirmed that Peter Obi just told him, I just arrived from UK, 3 a.m. And from 3 a.m., I'm here in this particular room. So there's no way I would have called you. It was embarrassing for the young man. But at the end of it all, the young man now started snapping pictures. We now gotten a new convert. That makes us much stronger. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that the more they come at us, the more we soar high.
Right.
And the more they make any kind of false attack on us, the more we cling to
So basically your assertion is that there's a plot to bring you
of course
down.
there is. There's no ambiguity in it. And I gave a reason for it. Because right there in the court, another son came in to represent an ambiguous group of people who did not even bring, and the court said, the judge said, did you file the case in the court? He said, no, I didn't. So in that case, where is your local standing? And this happened in the court. If I were the judge, I would have asked for the arrest of those persons for impersonation.
Yeah, but can't you guys see, I mean, the whole idea is that if you want Nigerians to give you the mandate to run a divided, fractious country like this on the promise that you're going to bring everyone together. I mean, can't you sit down with the opposing factions and work out some kind of strategy or some kind of way forward?
Hello, this may interest you. 2 days before that particular drama you saw at the court, I was part of a committee that had a meeting with this same group, and we agreed that there won't be any kinds of attack. But unfortunately, the first thing that happened in the court, and this particular discussion was called by our principal. And then we were supposed to meet 6 p.m. to deal with this matter. What we want to do was just, let's even listen to you. If you have a genuine concern, in a group of people, when there is genuine concern, you come into the group and deal with the matter, not create a coup d'etat within the particular system. And, interestingly, the judge of where they took their first originating summon, asked them, you have put me in the social media. Did I in any way pronounce that you, Apapa, should take over the leadership of the party? There's no way where that particular issue mentioned. Up to today, I challenge anybody to show us.
So really the bottom line is this.
Yes.
What do you see as the way out? What will save the Labour Party from an internal strife which threatens to ruin everything you've achieved in the 2023 general
Consistency
election?
in what we believe. Forgive those who have already wronged us in a way. Mobilize more people.
But if they keep wronging you,
if they keep on wronging you, the law will take its natural course. Simple.
But the law doesn't appear to have been on your side so far.
No, so far we have. Look at the two judgments that came in. There were two judgments coming from the same court of jurisdiction. And then one, of course, going in favor of the chairman of the party. And then here we are. All of our members, majority of my members are sticking thick and thin with what leadership has. And then we have also given room for a proposed national convention that will take place very soon. And the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC are fully behind us. We cannot, and this is where the catch is, Nigerians should know this, we cannot allow ourselves to be picked like a bunch of cherries. And that is the target. The more you pick one up person, you are picking the others, so it disintegrates. So it's time for us. We are feeling the pinch. You are feeling the pinch. Nobody's enjoying what is happening. It's just like a graveyard when you are talking about inaugurating the president. Everybody is just looking. It can't happen. Well, so people are feeling that. So they feel that the wrongs are deep in the heart of Nigerian people. So don't stand on this byline. Give support to where you have an opportunity to challenge the establishment for the right thing to be done. All we are saying that the process is wrong and the process must be changed.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, because you mentioned the inauguration. It's just literally days away now.
Yes.
Is it safe to say that there'll be many people, particularly those who support P2B and the Labour Party, who will not be happy to see Bola Tinubu sworn in as president, but it'll be a case of having to accept?
Did you watch the day in which the pronouncement were made? For people who are interested, just cast your mind back. Imagine if it was Peter Obi that was announced as president-elect.
Well, it isn't.
It wasn't.
So I'm asking you what you're going to do.
That will have been a more valuable one to me. There will have been mammoth celebration. People will have been drinking water on top of the tarmac because they have seen a rising of hope, a possibility of a new Nigeria. Okay? But here we are. The reverse case was the announcement. And everybody just stayed gloom in his house as if nothing has been announced. That, of course, sent a message to you. That, of course, sent a lot of message in large volume to you. The Nigerian people are not happy. I can say so. Yes, some people may say some of them are happy, but they are trying to do, okay, let's make do with some of the situation that's happening. But how long can we continue to make do with what happened? We have already just barely came out of an 8 years of a very treacherous and unbelievable governance that all of us up to today are indebted to our children, unborn children. We cannot move from point A to point B. We are still scared. We are not looked at with a lot of respect in the eye of community of nations. We have already left a country where it is so much in a consuming state to a point that you are consuming even to your bone marrow. That is not the way to run a government. And we are saying that we've given you an answer. We are changing your docility to activity. We are moving you from a consumption to a production nation. We are moving you from insecure nation to a secured nation.
In theory, you are.
Not in theory.
But you don't
practical.
have the,
even in our
the capacity to do it.
We have the capacity.
No, what I mean is that you're not in power.
Oh.
And the APC and Bola Tinubu are in power. But these are the same things that they say they want to achieve. Maybe you should...
We have not lost hope.
Right.
Not at all. We are so much determined. I have never been so encouraged than what happened at the court the last time. His Excellency said, Tanko, we need to continue to be focused. The Nigerian people need to continue to be focused, because it's out of focusedness that you get to see the ray of the light at the end of the tunnel. And I believed.
Okay. On that note, I want to thank you very much indeed. Dr. Yunusa Tanko is a spokesperson for the Labour Party's Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you very much for coming.
God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.